Hello, everyone. This is Suzanne, and this is the Gospel Truth. First, I want to apologize for not being on for a few days. I've been having some issues with my pain levels and my chronic pain issues, but feeling a little better today. I went to my daughter's last night. About once a month or so, I believe that we have the family get together. We play games and have a lot of fun. And it was really good. I really needed to have a night like that. So it was great. I feel refreshed and ready to go. I don't know how long that will last, but we'll see. Okay, we're going to get into our study of the Master Potter. And then afterwards, we'll do some chit chat. All right, let's get started. All right, we have been following in the book The Master Potter by Jill Austin. And it's an allegory, and Jill paints pictures with words so vivid that you can really understand and form that picture in your mind. And it's a journey, you might want to say, of a young Christian. And she was lost. The Lord found her in a garbage heap, which I think that represented a garbage heap of sin and sinful practices. And how the Lord ministered to her and took him back to her house. She finally accepted the Lord. Her name changed. Her name was, forgot what her name was. Well, when I think of it in a minute, I'll let you know. But it was changed to Beloved. And it's a beautiful name for someone that has had a change of heart, gave their life to Jesus. And ever since she gave her life to Jesus, death and demons are after her big time to draw her back into that sinful life. She met a man named Enchanter. Enchanter's father was Master Beguiler, and he enchanted her, and she got pregnant. They had a baby. They had 2 children. And then it goes on 10 years later, what happened with that. And now, once again, she's been rescued by the Master Potter. She cried out for help. And now we're going to move forward and see where she goes from here. Winds of God. Beloved's unseen guardian angel, Valiant, rushes into the fray on behalf of his charge. Moving toward death, with the power of resurrection glory, he unsheaths his gleaming sword and cuts Beloved loose. She jerks suddenly, yanking loose from death's firm grasp. Shock comes over her face as she realizes that she is free. The eastern sky quickly changes from pristine blue to a dark brown as an ominous torrent of sand and wind sweeps across the desert, blowing directly toward the commune. The crowd panics at the blinding force of the approaching sandstorm. Flashes of fire and lightning illuminate the darkening desert sky. The Father's thunderous voice rolls across the heavens, challenging demonic spirits. The hot sand pelts against Beloved, stinging her broken body and lashing at her open wounds. Protecting her eyes, she peers through her fingers to locate Purity. She catches a glimpse of her being dragged away, screaming and fighting. Beloved watches in horror until Purity and her captors are engulfed in the sandstorm. Now remember, Purity is Beloved's daughter. The frightened crowd flees the field of blood and runs for shelter as the heavenly whirlwind engulfs them. Now the wind intensifies and the air becomes thick with sand, making it almost impossible to breathe. Death screams in agonizing pain when Valiant scorches his vile being with the burning glory of his sword. Throwing his grotesque head back, he howls bitterly and blasphemes Master Potter. Valiant moves quickly to shield Beloved from the scorching sand. Convinced that Master Potter could never love her now, she clutches her torn robe and curls into a ball in the side of the doom, sobbing. Have you ever known somebody, or you yourself have kind of took a back step and slid back into your old ways. And then when you come to yourself, it was hard to understand, how is he going to forgive me again? I really messed up this time. And she's just curled up in a little ball right now. And what she doesn't realize as of yet is that the Master Potter is willing to forgive us tens and tens of thousands of times. It's never-ending forgiveness if we repent and change our ways. That's the wonder of God, the great depth of love he has for us. Activating the unseen realm. Beloved's nearly forgotten prayer language erupts from deep within her spirit, but her frail voice is lost in the roaring wind and pelting sands. Thinking she might die, she desperately pleads for Master Potter to forgive and rescue her. Lord, please forgive me. Help me. Beloved's prayers to Master Potter activate warring angels who charge into battle. Throwing a huge fiery golden net over death, the angelic warriors hurl him into the engulfing storm through the power of the cross's vindication. As death is thrown down, the angels shout wildly in victory. Now, I can imagine the angels shouting wildly in victory. They rejoice over one sinner that repenteth. There's like a mini party in heaven going on when that happens. So yeah, this is a great victory. Soon, the sound of pulsating demonic wings and clashing swords fades to a distant rumble. But many curious angels crowd together in glorious light and hover over Beloved, waiting to see what will become of her. The sandstorm whips up into a whirlwind of dazzling glory and fire before calming to a soft, gentle breeze. Opening her eyes, Beloved sees the dear figure of Amazing Grace striding toward her. Then she loses consciousness. He lifts her into his powerful arms and carries her back into the mountains on the outskirts of deeper life. Amazing Grace. Excuse me, my eyes are kind of watering today. I got that dry eye going on. Okay, here we go. Amazing Grace. When Beloved wakes up disoriented and in pain, she sees the compassionate face of Amazing Grace looking down at her. Amazing Grace, I thought I'd never see you again. Was it all just a bad dream? I'm here, Beloved, he says, gently wiping blood from her forehead. And no, it wasn't a dream. A look of horror contorts her face. My children, my children! She tries to sit up and winces as sharp pain immobilizes her. Amazing Grace gently lays her back down. She clings to his robe, crying, sobbing so deeply that Amazing Grace can't make out her garbled words. He continues to comfort her, praying for the Father to send her peace. Finally, Beloved regains composure to be understood between her gulping sobs. Please, please release the warring angels right now to rescue them. They need me. No, Beloved, they need Master Potter. Panic-stricken, she shrieks, they need me more. I'm their mother. I can help them. Kind of silly of her to think that she can help them more than the Master Potter, right? Don't we sometimes want to take matters into our own hands? We have to take our hands off the steering wheel and let Jesus take the wheel, right? Beloved, there's nothing else you can do for them right now. The only, excuse me. The only way you can help them is to pray. When you lost your children, your responsibility changed. I'm going to teach you to intercede for them, and that will release Master Potter's protection. The question for you now is, will you follow me? Beloved is hysterical over Amazing Grace's reply. Her high-pitched voice screams out at him, but I can't live without them. What will happen to them? Not waiting for his response, she continues screaming out her frustration at Amazing Grace. Her rage momentarily dulls her pain, and she pushes herself to a sitting position. She's just beside herself. She's very concerned, very worried about her children, and is driving her out of her mind. Kneeling beside her, he continues praying as Beloved's wild, ranting accusations toward him finally cease enough for him to respond. So she's having a huge fit right now. I wouldn't even call it a tantrum because her children are in danger. She knows what people they're going to be exposed to. And that mother bear is kicking in here. It's not for you to know the outcome now. Purity and Crusader's destiny are hidden in the counsels of the Trinity. These are the secrets that will unfold in time. Now, Crusaders is her son. No, the time is now. I'm so afraid for them. Help them. Help them now. Her voice grows louder as panic sweeps over her again. The question is still, will you follow me? She grabs his robe and pulls him close. Without my children? I can't. Let's go get them. You can take angels. Don't you care? How can you let them die a deeper life? Do something now. She releases his robe as she pushes him backwards. He puts his hand down in the sand in time to regain his balance. He waits patiently as her hysterical raging subsides into deeper sobbing. She is furious over her inability to manipulate Amazing Grace into action. He reaches out to touch her, and she turns away and lies back down. In a futile attempt to comfort herself, she curls up into a fetal position, her back to him. Beloved, I can tell that your children are precious to us. We'll move heaven and earth to save them. I don't believe you. If you love them, you save them now. There is silence for a long time. Beloved is still facing away from Amazing Grace. He watches as her shoulders begin to heave. Her body trembles, and finally she bursts forth in deep, guttural sobs. Uncontrollable weeping, wrenching her body, and she wails in agony over the loss of her children and her inability to rescue them. Wow. That is a very, very distraught mother. My heart is aching for her right now. And Amazing Grace is being so patient and trying to be so understanding, even though she's rejecting him continuously. With no other option, she finally allows Amazing Grace to gather her into his comforting arms. He rocks her gently and whispers words of hope as he helps her to pour out her anguished heart until all she feels is the empty void of her children's absence. Emotionally spent, she falls into a fitful sleep in his arms, giving her aching mind and body some much-needed relief. When she awakens a few hours later, Amazing Grace is once again lovingly attending to her. Beloved blushes and looks away, ashamed of her past choices and her recent tantrum. I made a mess of everything, didn't I? I'm so sorry. I didn't listen to you. Can you ever forgive me? He gently reassures her. Yes, beloved, I forgive you. You were never out of my sight. I've longed for you and grieved that you didn't follow me, but I never left you. Why couldn't I see you? I wear many disguises, and you've seen only a few. I've come to you as a voice in the wind, tongues of fire, a dove, and even a cloaked guide. Revelation dawns on her. Holy Spirit, is that you? I come in many different forms and manifestations, but it is imperative that you learn to recognize my voice and obey me. But why didn't you show yourself? If I had known it was you, I would have followed you. No, beloved, you wouldn't have followed me. You chose to take the easy way out of the wilderness. Pain and discomfort seemed an unnecessary hardship for you at that time, and in the end, it would have brought you life. The easier path you chose was an illusion of lies, producing only death and great loss. I came to the wilderness all healed up. Now I'm divorced, and I don't have my children. I'm such a failure. I made a mess of everything, didn't I? Yes, but Master Potter has marvelous ways of restoring the enemy's devastation, and our wrong choices. But my whole life is destroyed. Master Potter still loves you, and we need to go to him. So I'm asking you again, will you follow me? Faces of her children crying reappear before her eyes as she struggles with the thought of leaving them at deeper life. Feeling overwhelmed with grief, she buries her face in the folds of Amazing Grace's brown robe, sobbing uncontrollably, and recommits herself to the journey. Yes, I want to go to Master Potter. We'll stay here a few days until you are well enough to travel, and then we'll continue on our journey. After weeping for a long time, Beloved struggles to regain her composure. It's just so hard to leave them. Putting his comforting arms around her, Amazing Grace rocks her back and forth. I know, Beloved, I know. Beloved sleeps fitfully on and off for the next 2 days as her body tries to regain its strength. Her restless dreams are filled with visions of purity, Crusader, death, Valiant, Amazing Grace, the angels, and the awful events of her last hours at deeper life. Before the sun comes up the third morning, Amazing Grace awakens Beloved, and they slowly disappear into the dawn, leaving her children and deeper life commune behind. Okay, we're going to stop there for today. Whew. Okay. Yes, Beloved's children are in danger, but the Master Potter has a plan. Doesn't he always have a plan for our lives when we mess it up? And we may go through a painful time to get back to the way things were, or maybe things will never get back to the way they were because of choices we've made. But she's resigned herself now to trust in the Lord, that he will take care of her children, and that he has a plan for them, just as he has had a plan for her all along. All right, today's Sunday, so tomorrow we're going to read Dressed for Battle. That sounds interesting. Alone but never alone, ambushed by suicide. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Suicide is going to rear its ugly head. That doesn't sound good, does it? All right. Let me mark this. There we go. All right. I wanted to show you. Here it is. My grandson loves Toy Story. And I found this popcorn tin. And it has a lot of the characters from Toy Story. I think all of them. Here's Buzz. Here's Woody. This is Monsters, Inc. I think it's out of all the Pixar movies. Here's Jesse. Forgot the name of this guy, but his wife dies. It's a very touching little story with that guy. And here's Bo Peep. Here's those little guys that were in that machine, that claw machine. They called it the Claw. And yeah, so I thought I'm going to put one of his Christmas gifts in here for Christmas and give that to him. And it's got really good popcorn in it, but we're eating the popcorn, or I am. I love popcorn. Okay, my rings came in. Told you about the towel toppers that I do. In the past, I've crocheted tops right on the towel. But with these rings, these are 4-inch rings, what I do, we'll start covering the ring here a little bit, and then go a long strip and attach another ring at the bottom, and then you bring those together over your handle, and through these 2 loops, you hang your towel in. So it's very easy to switch out towels. And when I saw the pattern, I thought, wow, those are really pretty quick and fast to make. So I'm excited to get those started. Hopefully today, I plan to start a scarf on my knitting machine for one of the guys at Christmas. His name is Tom. He's a friend of the family, and he always is at our Christmases. And I thought it'd be nice to make him a nice warm scarf for winter. So it's going to have a pom-pom on each end too, so it should be really cute when I get it done. I should have that done between today and tomorrow, I would think. So, what else? Anything else to tell you? Don't think so. I am going to be very busy, as I know probably you are, the next couple weeks up till Christmas, In fact, we're having Christmas on the 29th at my granddaughter's house. And I'll be taking bacon wrapped chestnuts in this ketchup sauce. They are so good. And I'll be taking a pineapple upside down cake and Rice Krispie treats. I usually do desserts for the year. So I'm looking forward to that. But as I told you before, we're picking up Ron's brother. Ron's going to pick him up on the 24th. He'll spend the night. We'll celebrate Christmas. He'll either go home later that day or maybe the next day for sure. And so there's a lot of things to juggle. I got to plan out the meals and, I got tons of presents. I got to get started wrapping. I got a couple more gifts I want to make. So this is like countdown time. And I just haven't felt up to wrapping or doing much lately. My knees are really, really bad now. And it's starting to affect me. My hips are starting to hurt. I know it's because of the way I walk. But I'm going to push through it. I'm not missing the holidays. I love this time of year. I was standing with my granddaughter last night. It was game night at my daughter's. And I went. And I'm so glad I went. Because I really needed that to get my mind off my pain and just to have a fun evening. And my granddaughter and I were standing by the Christmas tree. And she says, Grandma, isn't there just something special about Christmas? I said, yes, indeed there is. And she said, people just seem a lot nicer, don't they? I said, yes, they do. And that was really a touching moment for me. And they know I'm a Christian. They don't, I think they believe in God, but that's as far as it goes. They really don't read their Bible or practice Christianity. It's my other granddaughter, she's a Christian, and her husband, and my daughter, she is a Christian. Her husband isn't. But they respect when I go there. Prayers are said. I always say a blessing for the family, because I just feel that's so, so very important. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to all this. So I'm going to be on, let's say, till after the 29th. I'll be on here as often as I can between now and then. I'm going to do my very, very best. And then we can get more back to our regular everyday. And we're really almost to the end of this book, which is exciting, because then we're into Fire Mountain. So I'm going to do the best I can. And I think when I have a moment where, okay, I can do this, here's this window, I'm not in too much pain. I did try to put out a video yesterday, but all of a sudden, I was like 5 minutes into it, 10 minutes maybe, I got dizzy, my pain level shot up out of nowhere, and I had to go lay down. It was bad. I was shocked. So I did try yesterday. Well, listen, I hope that you are enjoying the festivities this year, and you're able to get out a little bit and see some Christmas lights on people's houses and get into some Christmas activities and play some games. Even if you're alone, play solitary. Play some games that you can play on if you have a computer or an iPad. Get on there. There's gin rummy games, there's cribbage, there's spades, there's euchre. There's lots of ways that you can entertain yourself and have fun. And I know every year I appreciate that the Lord's given me another year to be with my children and my grandchildren. And I'm getting up there in age now, as most of us are. And I just cherish every day that the Lord gives me. All right, you all take care. You have a most blessed day in the Lord. I love each and every one of you so very much. You take care. Lord willing, I'll be back on here tomorrow, because I want to see what happens, don't you? Okay, bye-bye.